Hey guys, CG the Man here, and welcome to part 2, part 2 of my review of Attack on Titan Volume 14. And the reason why I had to split this video into 2 parts is because so much happened in this volume that I had to split it into 2 parts. So if you guys haven't seen part 1, I'll leave a link to it down in the description below. And without any further ado, let's continue on with my review of Attack on Titan Volume 14. So we're starting out in chapter 57, where Hans is meeting up with Erwin to tell Erwin what Eren had told her. And what Eren had told her was a conversation that he remembered between Bertolt and Ymir. And one of the things that he remembered was that Bertolt had asked Ymir that, hey, you didn't like eating that human. And then he also remembered Ymir saying, I walked outside the wall for like 60 years, which is very interesting. And with that, Hans comes up with the theory that if a human who has been turned into a Titan eats a human who can transform into a Titan, they can turn back into being human. Or to be more precise, they gain the ability to control their Titan transformation. At least that's her theory. And so then Hans says that maybe the military police wants Eren so they can feed Eren to another Titan. So then that way that said Titan will turn back and being human, and that human will be on their side or something along those lines. And then they talk about Historia for a little bit. Then after they talk about Historia, this guy comes in saying that the military police wants to speak with Erwin, and Erwin says to Hans that Hans, get out of town and go back to Levi while I deal with whatever the military police wants. So Erwin goes out and sees what the military police wants, and he sees that they brought some dead bodies to the middle of town, and these dead bodies are the ones that the military police killed up in the mountains when they were kidnapping Eren and whatnot. So the military police brought the bodies into town so they could put the blame on the Survey Corps. And so then the military guy is like, therefore, since they're putting the blame on the Survey Corps, the military police guy is like, therefore, the Survey Corps is ordered to immediately cease all its activities and turn themselves in. So Erwin, of course, turns himself over calmly, not to cause an uproar, but that's probably because he knows that all his fellow other Survey Corps members are out there doing what they're supposed to, Levi and his crew. And also because he knows that Hans is doing her thing. So while Hans is escaping, going back to Levi, she actually runs into one of the Reese Company people who actually really knows what happens up in the woods. And what really happened again was that the military police are the ones that killed those people, not the Survey Corps. So what she ends up doing is she ends up taking this guy with her as she's making her escape. And so then the chapter cuts to what Levi and his crew are up to, which is that they've tracked down Eren and Historia, because remember they got taken away by the military police when the military police killed some of the Reese Company up in the woods. And when I refer to Levi's crew, I'm talking about people like, Mikasa, Armin, Jean, Connie, Sasha, I'm talking about those guys when I refer to Levi's crew. So yes, Levi and his crew have tracked down Historia and Eren to kind of like a small town, and I believe they even know what building they are in. So right now they're kind of on a little stakeout waiting for the right time to make their move. So Levi's up on the roof with the messenger girl doing their stakeout thing, but then this guy using 3D maneuver gear pops up on the roof out of nowhere and freaking blows the messenger girl's face clean off. We find out this guy's name is actually Kenny, and he's somebody that trained Levi back in the past. So now we are in chapter 58, and it starts off with Kenny shooting at Levi, then the rest of Kenny's crew comes out of nowhere, and they start shooting at Levi, and Levi's sitting there dodging all their shots, and then he finds his way into this bar. So Levi gets behind the counter of this bar and finds the bartender's gun, then shoots that gun and ends up hitting Kenny right in the chest, sending Kenny back out the door. Oh, and I forgot to mention before, because I was getting wrapped up in all the actions, that I believe this is something that the Survey Corps has never seen before. They've never seen people using 3D maneuver gear and guns at the same time. So after Levi shoots Kenny, what Levi does is that he grabs a chair, throws it out the window, and then once he throws the chair out the window, the guy starts shooting the chair because they think it's Levi, and they're like, wait, that's a chair. And that's when Levi jumps out the window and slices up some of Kenny's crew and then starts making his escape some more. And then we find out that Kenny is still alive from being shot by Levi because he has some type of protective gear on. And then it cuts to Levi's crew, and they're like, freaking, what's going on? We're hearing gunshots. And that's when Levi shows up. Is like, we gotta retreat. We'll come back for Eren and Historia, and later we gotta come up with a plan. Let's get out of here. So Levi and his crew are making their escape as the rest of Kenny's crew are chasing them. So one of the gunmen get really close to shooting Armin in the face, and then Mikasa comes out and they're like, bam! You can't touch Armin, he's my buddy. And then as he gets knocked in the face, he gets down on the ground, and Jean is like, hey, don't move, motherfucker. Then the guy knocks the gun out of Jean's hand, and everybody's like, oh no, what's gonna happen? And then bam! But then it cuts to Eren and Historia being taken out of the coffins that they're being transported in, and we get to take a look at Historia's dad. And we thinking that he's like the most evil guy in the world, right? But then he's like, I'm so sorry, and ends up giving Historia a hug, and then it cuts to being continued in volume 15. So that was volume 14 of Attack on Titan, and I believe I like Attack on Titan volume 14 a whole lot more than I do volume 13. And so without further ado, let me go ahead and do a quick recap of the more important stuff we learned in the second half of this manga volume. So one of the more important things that we learned is Han's theory on the Titans, and we also learned what Han's theory is with the military police and why they want Eren, and which is her theory is that she thinks that they want to feed Eren to some other Titan so that they can have that Titan to be on their side or something along those lines. We see that the military police is calling for all the survey corps to turn themselves in for something they didn't actually do, because that something they didn't actually do was something that the military police is responsible for. And then we get this huge action piece dealing with Kenny and his crew of guys that are using 3D maneuver gear and guns at the same time, which is something for the first time that we are seeing, and I think this is also something for the first time that the survey corps is seeing. And of course, Kenny is working alongside the military police. So again, I really liked volume 14 a whole bunch more than I did volume 13. Not that volume 13 was bad, I just really like this one, and I can't wait to read volume 15. And let me guys know, are you guys okay with this first part, second part when it comes to my reviews of these, or do you guys think I should just do chapter reviews? Or should I try to go through my whole reviews a whole lot faster? You know, leave your comments down below. And as always, if you guys like the video, like the video. And if you like me, subscribe to me. And as always, this is DJ's Man, and I'll catch y'all next time.